Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb 1, and I have this video for you that's kind of amazing. It's very unique in some ways because it's not a normal timeline like I've shown before, like 1 through 14, or even the last one where I was understanding the Julian calendar a lot more and how they're synced together for two sets of numerologies that are important that they code in on because when they show these, when they kind of program people to all these different events and symbolisms and all that, they're also coded to numbers that are in the letter, and man, they have to have a lot of different options. And so this really will show this even more. So I'm going to get right into this and how this works. And it's pretty amazing. And I have a lot more I'm going to share at some point, but I have to work on some things I'm trying to put together. So this is a lot shorter one than normal. So let me get right into it. And I'll go right into here. So I'm the Exalted Lamb 1 on YouTube with the Exalted Lamb 1 on YouTube, or Exalted Lamb 1 without the on Telegram. And my motto has always been having no part in the worthless deeds of darkness, but instead exposing them. Ephesians 5:11. And you know, a lot of I run across ultra religious Christians that think just because the fact that you are exposing the enemy's plans and what they're doing, that you're part of it or you're enhancing it or something. It's very, very silly. It's only a really ultra religious mind can come up with that kind of stuff. Literally, this is biblical. There's several scriptures about this, but I'm called by the Lord Jesus himself, who I know personally, to expose these things because they're coming. And man, I am so excited about the end of December here. I knew for years that December 25th, Christmas, had something to do with it, but I just didn't know how to put this together. Yes, I've done other times, all these other times, but my heart has always been for this time more because of a number of different experiences I've had and my wife's had privately and things. And I've gone into a little bit of that, but not too much. So it's massive, and I think I finally hit this 100% nail in the head. But again, more things will come out in my next video. And I also did this as a part 3 on my Santa-Nic or Satanic Christmas, basically, which is unusual because I basically want to expand on what I've shared already, even though the timeline's changed. So the timeline has changed. It's pinned to the top of comments on this video right here, which is brand new. It's different, and so you know. But I'm going to get into some of the details that are a little more detailed than before. So, and hopefully you understand this. So I'm trying to lay it out just right. So here we go. Let's just keep going here. So again, for those who are not familiar, the Rule of Kal states, it's a Freemasonry rule of Kal called the Kabbalistic Rule of Kal, states that one digit can be added to or subtracted from the gematria value of a word without affecting its value. This seems to modern ears to be a cheat. However, the Kabbalists explain the rule by pointing out that for them, one was not a number. The monad symbolizes the divinity and could come and go as he pleased, adding nothing and taking nothing away. Okay, and just also keep in mind, Jesus himself, who I know personally, has taught me how this stuff really is working over time. There's different people out there that talk about gematria, and they show, okay, this thing equals 666, and that thing equals 222, and whatever, and all that. Well, what does that mean, and what's the benefit to people? And also, when is this stuff coming, and all that stuff? And so I begged the Lord years ago, when he was showing me dreams and visions about 9.5 years ago, how do I, put this out to people? How do I have evidence? How to show this thing? And then he started showing me that they use this and showing me how to discern this and decode this and show how gematria really works. And I'm the one that shows how gematria really works through him. He's the one that is has brought it to me, and I'm bringing it to you through him. He is the one, okay? And but I'm let you know, I know this stuff. And this stuff that, I've literally had 2 Freemasons, one was a 32nd degree Mason, another 27th degree Mason, tell me that I know more about this stuff and the details of gematria and a lot of other things about this than most of the 33rd and above Freemasons that they've ever known, and they're leaders. And it was weird to hear that, and they've shown who they were and everything to me and stuff. So, and they're Christian. They became Christian. they were getting dreams and visions from Jesus himself. They went away from all that stuff, and he revolutionized their life and changed their way of thinking and everything. So, okay, let's keep going here. So another thing I want to mention, how zero, the number zero, if it's really a number, it's technically a number, is equals O. It's hiding O, like Obama's. Okay, anyway, and O is 15. Okay, the 15th letter of the alphabet. It's also 1 plus 5 equals 6. And 6 or 15 is hiding 2 plus 4, or the year 24. That's why, another reason why this is happening this year, because there's so much in the O, which means 15 or even 24. Okay, and in a second, I'm going to show you what also 15 is here, like this. So O is also 15, like I said. And then 15 is, I haven't mentioned this before, I don't think, on a video. I don't know why. In the last few months, I kind of figured this out, and I should have mentioned it before, but I kept forgetting, I guess. So anytime there's a 1 in front of anything, any number, you can take 1 from that number. So 1 from 15, so an O is hiding 1 from 5 is 4. So O is also hiding 4. Okay, and for example, like in Roman numerals, X has a value of 10 in Roman numerals, and then I has a value of 1. So 1 from 10, or 1 in front of 10 is I from X, or 1 from 10 is 9. And that's, anybody who knows Roman numerals, you know that. That's how that works. This is because this is Roman. This is a Roman thing here, okay? And they do a lot of Roman things, Roman calendar, all kinds of stuff. I mean, we have, the Roman Catholic Church, all this kind of stuff. So it's ultimately Rome, revised Rome, okay? And then they do opposites. And I've shared this many times. I'm just going to get into that again. Opposites, which are backwards, light and dark. This is all over the place. Backwards, see, this is Zdrakab. Zdrakab. Okay, anyway, whatever. Backwards. They do upside down and backwards. It's all kinds of ways. Okay, so I shared this really briefly in a super fast video I did in my last video, and I want to get into a little bit more details about this. So, and I've shared a little bit on my Telegram already. But this is the scene in iPad Goat, and you have one of the characters behind Lily in iPad Goat. If you're not familiar with iPad Goat, you can go to iPad Goat 2, search that up, and it's an animated movie that was produced back in 2012, and it's basically a lot of coded symbols, and it's basically each scene is a timeline, it's a coded timeline about the eventual destruction of Babylon or America, the second 9, 1, and then 1. And each event in the timeline is its own 9, 1, and then 1. Just say it that way. I have to say it that way. Okay, so there's no iPad Go 1 or iPad Go 3 or iPad Go 4 like people would think. The iPad Go 1 is literally the attack that happened on 9, 1, and then 1. George Bush was in the classroom with his kids, and then he supposedly got interrupted and was told that we were being attacked and all this stuff. And then he sits in a corner looking like a doof, and then what is he going to do? But he knew all this was happening. And literally he read with the children the book called The Pet Goat. And then so the iPad Go 2 is saying, hey, there's going to be a second or multiple 9, 1, and then 1s. They're going to completely destroy, not just 9, 1, and then 1 that happened about in 2001. I mean, multiple 9, 1, and then 1s that completely destroy the United States. Okay. And, man, I have something about that. I hope I remember to put on my next video. But I'll just say it really quick because I don't want it missed. If you basically, 9, 1, and then 1 in 2001, okay, was the 254th day of the year with 111 days left over. If you add to 9, 1, and then 1, 2001, 254, because it was the day of the year, 254 months, plus the days left over, 111, plus 111 weeks to 9, 1, and then 1, you get the next major 9, 1, and then 1, which is December 27, 2004. And it's the third day. And there's a nuxels that is going to go off in Ukrainesels. And then that same numerology is of a nuxels that's going to go off a few days later, where Trumpel is going to die in Trump Tower. And I'm going to go through that at some point here. So anyway, but right here, this was the meeting here. He was a special guest. Trumpel was a special guest of Macron. Macron cookies. Macron is a macaron. He's a nutty cookie. Anyway, so Trumpel was a special guest of Macron here because at Notre Dame, because look at the numerology, 888 and then 148. I'll show you what it is. It's a number of things, actually. The day that happened had 24 days left over in the year, and that's 8 plus 8. 8 plus 8 plus 8 is 24. Donald J. Trump is this. Emmanuel Macron is that. And this. Also there was Zelensky from Ukraine, okay, the president of Ukraine. And that's all a coincidence because Trump, Zelensky, and they met after that, is that as well? This is all a massive coincidence? No. It's about a new beginning that's coming for them. There's so much going on. And what is that? Now, again, we have English and Sumerian and English Sumerian across this way. And then we have reverse English and reverse Sumerian and reverse English and reverse Sumerian. So English is basically A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3. And the direct relationship that English Sumerian has to English is times 6. So everything A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, but then times 6. A equals 6, B equals 12, C equals 18, all the way to Z. Okay, and then these are in reverse. But see how they're related. It's amazing. There's no way this is not planned. Okay, hopefully you see that. Okay, and then right here you have 1, 4 plus 8 is 12, and then 8 plus 8 plus 8 is 24. Now, again, the day that this happened at Notre Dame, and all this Notre Dame equals 888, this equals 888, he equals 888, that equals 888, which is 24. The day that had happened had 24 days left over in the year. And this is also showing 1224 plus 1, 1225. You could switch the 12 and the 1 and then it's 1225. These work together as not only separate, they work together as a date and more details. So, and that's what the Lord showed me even more recently, a couple of years ago, how these both, the two types of gematries that work together, usually it's forward and reverse. In this case, it's forward and the other one forward, which is six times that. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, and then also, it came out on iPad Go 2 came out, which is, again, forecasting the destruction of Babylon or America. Okay, it came out in, basically it was June 24th, 2012. Now, in this date, in this year, and in the month and day are showing that it's Christmas time and Christmas Eve. And I'm going to show you this. And then watch this. So 6/24 is June 24th. 6 months later, or on the other side of the year, if you look at the year being a big circle, and then on the other side of the year, you add 6 months, you get 12/24. Okay, 12/24. So this is opposite of 12/24. Okay, and then you add 6 months back to this, and you go back to 6/24 the next year. So you see how it's on the other side. Each year is 6 years, and half of each year is 12 months is what I meant to say. Each year is 12 months, but half of that is 6 months. So it came out there. Now to prove that even more, there's more in this year. So the year that year was 2-0. Remember, 0 is hiding O, 12. 2-0 is 15/12. Okay, so again, 1 from 5, and the example I showed you in the beginning is 4. So that's 2, 1 from 5 is 4, and 12. Look, 12/24, 12/24, which is opposite of there. See how this is hiding that, and this is opposite of that. So I use that as an example over here. So that's another another thing that proves what I'm saying. Also, with a rule of Kalel, you can get, because this is 2-0-12, 2-0-12, and O is 15. Rule of Kalel, you could take away any one. So that's 2-5-12, 25-12, 12-25. See? And now, and then how do we have 12-25 over here? Because this happened in 2024. Watch this. The day this happened, they were at Notre Dame right here, was December 7th, or December 2 plus 5 equals 7. See? 12/25, 12/24. Hidden in this, reverse. Hidden in this, when you take 1 from 5 is 4, 24 of 12. It's all right here. Hopefully that makes sense and you could follow here. Okay, this is the Gregorian starting on 24/25. And this is the day of the year with the days left over. Again, that's 12/24, 359th day of the year with 7 days left over, 12/25, 360th day of the year with 6 days left over. Okay, see how they're working on this. I'm going to show you a couple examples here of that. Now, this came out recently, a couple weeks ago. Jubilee of Hope. Holy Door opens on December 24th. Again, December 24th right here. And he's going to open the portal. And he's going to summon the enemy, the devil. Okay, but that's, people think, oh, it's a holy thing and all that stuff. if you take this whole thing, this whole title, and what they'll do is they spell out. See, it's hidden when they just put in numbers like that. But when you spell out 24 and you spell out 2025, when I put a heading and subhead together. Well, first of all, it's 24 there. Anyway, we put these two together, and I just type it all the way out here. You can't see the whole thing, but it's all in here. Okay, this heading and this subhead right here. You put it all in here, and see how it says December, and then right here, if you were to follow all the way, if I were to pull this over, it'd be 24. It said only a few days remain until the opening of the Holy Door in St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican, making the beginning of the Holy Year 2025. And then I spelled out 2025. Okay, I spelled that all out like that. And what did I get? Okay, again, English and reverse work together pretty much all the time. Watch this. 5 plus 7 is 12. And then we have 25 right here, 25. Then we have right here 20. See the 20 right there? So we have 20. There's 20. I just underlined. Then we have underlined 3 and 3 is 6. Well, what is 6 hiding? Like I told you earlier, 2 plus 4. So we literally have December 24th. And in this whole thing, in Gematria, when these numbers are even spelled out all together, all plugged in here, is 12/25/2024 and December 24. December 24th, December 25th. See what I'm showing you right here? It's all in. It's in so many things out there. I'm just giving you another, an example right here. Okay, and then we have the Julian. Like I mentioned, the Julian was unlocked so much understanding when I understand that they're really actually using it. Now I put that away for a while, for years. But then when Trump actually met with Zelensky in New York a couple months ago, it was like, oh my goodness, that exact meeting and everything was showing me that the Julian was in play for a number of reasons. I'm not getting into it right now, but that it was in play. And then and there was a couple other events that happened, and I could sync them to the Julian, and the numerology was perfect. And so I was seeing that they were using both. Okay, so again, Gregorian, if you don't know this, the Gregorian count is the main one they use for Western culture, okay, and then there's still some countries and such that still use the Julian, believe it or not, and that's whatever the Gregorian is minus 13 days, because back in 1752, I believe, America went from the Julian to the Gregorian, and they moved. It was like a difference of like 11 days, but then from that time to now, we've gained another 12 days. 2 days. So now it's 13 days less, because it was based on the solar cycle, and they were saying it was off, and so that's why they created it and all this stuff, which is all bull. It's all BS. Barbara Streisand, Blake Shelton, and all that. Anyway, BS. Barry Soetoro, all a bunch of BS. Okay, so it's all smokescreen here for what this really is. And I'm going to show you here in this video why that is. That they created this to coordinate these things together to hide what's going to happen. Secretly coordinate this stuff. So if you knew how to do this eventually, I finally figured this out. It's taken a long time, but the timing is good. The Lord's timing is amazing. But I really didn't plan this for going this long, of course. Okay, so minus 13 gets you whatever date this is. Again, we have the day of the year, whatever the day is, like December 11th, day of the year, and the days left over. Okay, and we go all the way down here. So we're going from just Christmas Eve to Christmas, and all the way here to New Year's. And then I'm going to show you the other one here in a second. But from that, then minus 13 days gets you this. So 24 minus 13 gets you 11, and then so on and so forth. And then 1231 minus 13 days is 1218. And then they sync all kinds of stuff to both of these, so it can be confirmed. It's crazy. Now, remember I just showed you that the Pope opening the door to St. Peter's Basilica. Now, in the article, it said ST for the numerology, but it's fully spelled out St. Peter's Basilica. Okay. Now, watch this. This is not synced. Has nothing to do with Christmas besides what they're showing you is December 24th. Now, watch. Boom. See? 12/12. Oh, over here, what's that? Oh, 12/12. That's on the Julian. 12/12. Oh, it just had to be synced to that. So we know they mentioned December 24th, which is also, secretly 12/11 on the Julian, but they didn't mention that. But then St. Peter's Basilica equals 12/12, and there it is, confirming what I just shared with you. Okay. Now, also in reverse English is 18, and what's that? 6 plus 6 is 12. 18/12, or 18th of December. Now look down here. So there's an important events going on here. The death of the Pope and Stinky BO, the 44th Pres, and Trump will be on this day right here. To support that for the Pope, watch that. Look, 1218, 1218, 1812. So we have this date and this date hidden on the Julian calendar in this numerology for St. Peter's Basilica, which most people wouldn't, 99.9999% of even end times people that know anything about numbers wouldn't know, because they don't know what they, it's taken me all this time for little fragments of understanding from the Lord over time. I mean, yes, he tells me certain things specifically, but he gives me direction and all that. And all these breadcrumbs that have been laid out for so long. And I finally put these pieces of the puzzle together, and I'm understanding how this works. Eventually, I'm going to nail this. Whether this is it or not, again, I speculate, and I'm always speculating about what this might be based on what he tells me, which is always riddles and coded and all this stuff. And what, and all the, I mean, it's not all coded. He'll say something like, oh, look here or look there or do this or whatever. And it's not all coded, but the end, the result is coded in the world. And then he also doesn't bring you just the complete answer right in front of your face, because no one can know until pretty much till the very end. Anyway, so let's keep going here. So also the idea of 1225 and 1212. Now watch this idea, 1225 and 1212. Now, this is an iPad Go. In this scene, Lily drops the apple, it rolls, and it goes past an upside down 7, which is an L, and then a C, and then it splits open, and then you have the water lily. This is a water lily because later in iPad Go towards the end, you see all the same color water lilies come out of the water and bloom. Okay, people think it's a lotus. I mean, that could be a secondary meaning, but it's really a water lily. And then here's a water lily right here. Now notice right in here, this is called the pistil. And see how many little things are in here? There's a lot. But right here, there's exactly 12. Exactly 12. Why would that be? I mean, that's very different, because it's numerology. Because that thing right here is so many, and they can vary. They're not going to be the exact number every single time. They're not going to be like, 17 or 23 every single time, whatever. This is 12 exactly. And so that's 12. And then I literally, years ago, I counted all these petals and put a number on each one of them. And there's 25 petals. And that's 1225 when the flower blooms. It's about the birth of the Antichrist. And it ends up being, I thought it might be towards the end of the timeline, but it's literally the beginning of the timeline. And this thing goes backwards. It blooms. This is the first day. And as I showed you in the beginning, opposites, backwards, upside down and backwards, all that stuff. This is backwards. So this goes backwards. So you start at the pre-day of 1224, which is just a pre-day. That's why the Pope is he's secretly summoning the devil, and then he's going to die, and so is Stinky BO and Trouble. And then the Pope and Stinky BO, the 44th Pres, Barack Obama, insane Obama, is going to come back to life. And then the Pope's going to say he brought him back to life, and he's going to be his false prophet. Okay, so that's 1225. Confirm this even more is all kinds of things. So one thing is this. C, okay, looking at this way or that way. See where Obama's foot is? He's standing right here in a sense. He's right here. And he's looking this direction. So he sees this as a C and a 7. And you can see how it's a 7 because it's kind of angled. But from this direction, the way we're looking at it, it's LC. Okay, but from his direction, it's C, and C is hiding 1 plus 2. But from his direction, it's a 7, and 7 is hiding 2 plus 5, like I showed you. Remember 12-7 was Trump with Macron and even Zelensky in Notre Dame. And there's 12-7. See how they're doing this off iPad Goat? And Trump was on the floor on 12-7. He's literally on this floor, like I showed you before. Let me go back here. I shouldn't go back. Oh, man, whatever. I'll just keep going back. He's on the floor, okay? That's the floor of iPad Goat. And that's, you see LC, or I'm sorry, C7, which is hiding 12-7. C is hiding 1 and 2. That's the only other numbers it could be besides 3, 1 and 2. Okay, and then 7 is 7. Okay, and then he's on the floor. The same. And look at this. He's leaving looks diagonal. See how this looks diagonal here? It looks diagonal here. He's doing the golden spear that's supposed to kill the Christians. He's false. The Lord told me years ago about 7 years ago that he was the Trojan horse for Christians and conservatives. He is the snake that he does a snake poem, and he used to at rallies and such, and how he's the snake that deceives and everything like that. And because he is, and people believe he's good and everything, and he's going to do all this kind of stuff, and he's not. He's be the spear that spears the. It's like the spear that speared Christ after he was dead or whatever. Anyway, and so you see that how this is 12:7, 12:7. Okay, and I'm gonna keep going back this way now. Okay, sorry, I usually don't do this, but whatever. Keep going. You can see this again. Anyway, okay, so. Again, there's the pistol, it's 12:25, and then we have C is 1 and 2, and then from his perspective, 7 is 2 plus 5. Again, and that's either 12:7, like he was at the Notre Dame, or ultimately he's there because it's about 12:25, being the first day of the birth of the Antichrist. Okay, the first day, and then it goes in a timeline from there. Okay, also from this side, you keep the C, because if we're looking from this side, like we're looking, so Obama's looking this way. I don't know if that makes sense, but he's going from here to here. We're going from here to here. Okay, hopefully you can see that. I don't know. And then that's an L. So look, that's 12. L is definitely 12, and C is made up of 1 and 2. So we have 12, 12, and 12:25. Now remember that? 12, 12, and 12:25. See? That's the beginning. This is just the beginning, and this goes backwards. Again, everything's upside down, backwards, opposites. The apple rolls to actually the birth of the Antichrist on the last day, which is 1/7, and the lightning falls from heaven. And I'm going to show this in a second here. A lightning falls from heaven and strikes the clock tower, like on Back to the Future, on January 4th, or 104, or 1004. 104 or 1004, the clock tower was struck at Back to the Future, because that's January 4th, or 104 being 04 being, the day, 04, 2 digits, whatever. Okay, that's how this works. And then so we have we're not counting the pre-day per se, but even though it's in here, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days going down this way, and then boom, here now we're in the 2025. From the first, then you count 7 days. Now look at this. Now this is days left over. We have 6 days left over. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 0. This is an important day. The 31st, December 31st, New Year's Eve is 0, but it's also 1 through 7, because see how we have a 1 through 7 here, but it really starts right here, 1 through 7, and then we go over here and we have a 1 through 7 in the day of the year, 1 through 7. So when you put these together, you literally have 7 days, and then you have this transition from year to year, and then 7 days. 7 days and 7 days. Or you can look at it as 0, and then 7 here with the pre-day, and then 0 here with 7 days. So it could be 14 or 15. It depends how you look at it. And then 15 is hiding 555. And then some people, at the very beginning of a lot of seeing all this stuff going on, and the Lord showed me dreams and vision, I saw 555 a lot. And now I understand what it is. It's 5 plus 5 plus 5 is the timeline. It's also 7 and 7, or it's 14 days. It's 14 days. Okay. And these different events are important because they're for the dismantling of Babylon, or America. And by the way, Babylon, if you don't understand that Babylon is America, then look in my, again, I'll have the timeline pinned to the top of comments, but in my description box, I have on the very bottom, I have 3 different downloadable documents. One of them with the children, with the innocent children, because their children are going to be taken on the 4th and 5th day, which is right here, 4 and 5, 28th and 29th. The children are going to be taken. We have aliens and zombies and all that stuff. Check my timeline pinned to the top of comments. But in my description box below the video, in the description box, on the bottom of the description box, I have 3 downloadable documents. One of them is about the children, and in that one, it has details about how all some different scriptures and stuff, and showing how United States is the only one that fits the biblical description for Babylon. The land of images, the land surrounded by many waters, all this kind of stuff. Only in the United States, no other place, not Rome, not Saudi Arabia, whatever, Mecca, or whatever it was. None of these other ones fit that description. Nobody. Okay, and then since we have 2024 and 2025, what else is hidden here? That is 20 plus 24, and 20 plus 25, because right here, this 7th and 8th day, Stinky BO is going to die, and Trump is going to die on this day, and they're going to be reported dead on this day, this 8th day. And so 20 plus 24 is 44, and 20 plus 25 is 45. The 44th Prez and the 45th Prez. Now this is shown, I've shown this in other parts of iPad Goat. The woman in the black burqa with the dead son, on her face is 44 and 45. On the child is 44 and 45. I'm going to show that more in another video, or the next video possibly. And that's all about the death of both presidents on the 7th and 8th day. Okay, now watch. The 7th and 8th day is the 7th day. And then also, for some reason, Obama seems to have the numerology of the 7 more, and then Trump seems to have the numerology of the 8. And he's, Trump itself, the name Trump is 88. It's also Donald J. Trump is 888, like I showed you earlier with Notre Dame and Macron is 888. Okay, so he has a 8. And whenever big events have happened with him, he's had an 8 numerology. And then, for example, the last couple times that Obama has released his presidential portrait, it's been on the date of a 7. And that's another thing I've thought, because these all have been on particular days that had the numerology of 7. Or for example, let's say Barack Obama came out with something big like a book that he came out with, and it was on the 16th. 1 plus 6 is 7. See how that works? So, and then, or whatever, or like for example in Atlantic City, there was an old casino called Trump Casino or whatever, and it was like this a few years ago. It was in February. It was February 17th that the whole thing, they collapsed it and it fell down. So that was 17. 1 plus 7 is 8, and so that's the collapse of Trumple. See how that works? Or even get rid of the 1 and you have a 7, so you have the 7 and 8. But anyway, hopefully that makes sense. Now watch, so that's 7 and 8. So they both have this numerology. They ultimately both have the numerology of 777, or even 77 and 88 and 888, or 7 and 8. But Obama seems to have it. And also, Stinky BO was the 57th inauguration of a president, and Trumple was the 58th inauguration of a president. And things like that. There's all kinds of stuff. I've shown many things over the years how they tie to this. And also, look at this. This is the god Janus. Trumple is the god Janus. He represents that in a way, okay? In Roman mythology, Janus is the god of beginnings and endings. Again, we have a transition. See this right here? This is the transition from 2024 to 2025 right here. And that's Janus. He's the god of beginnings, endings, transitions, time, duality, doorways. Remember the Pope opened the doorway of St. Peter's Basilica, opened a portal and passages. This is about to happen. I'm telling you, this is not just symbolic. It is symbolic, but it's also going to finally be actual. Again, that's a transition. So now I'm going to look at it this way. Now let's look at a vertical, for example. Again, we have the 7th and 8th day right here. 7th and 8th day, which is 1231 and 1-1. See, again, 1 through 14 here, okay? So 7th and 8th day on the either side. This is the transition from 24 to 25. 7th and 8th day, which is 1231 and 1-1. See, now watch this. See this? This is Trumple in different articles and different things and different comics and stuff, showing him with 2 faces. Like, okay, one's saying, oh, good things, spewing out lies. The other one's, acting good and all that kind of stuff or whatever. They kept saying 2 faces because he is Janus, January. Now watch this. And this is Janus or Janus bifrons or Janus bifrons, which means 2-faced Janus. Because 2-faced, again, looking forward, looking backward, transitions. And like I said right here, let me go back. Again, God of beginnings, endings, transitions, time, duality. There's probably at least 2 Trumples. One has a blue tie, one has a red tie. I'm not even going to get into all that. See, it's a red and blue tie, and the two different times. Okay, he's a transition. Watch this. Now let's put this right on top here. He's 2-faced. They've said many things in articles. So many. This is depicted all over the place for a long time in the media. 2-faced. He's literally Janus. Okay, or figuratively Janus. Okay, and look, 7th and 8th day. See, looking backwards, looking forwards, right at the transition. 1231, because he's going to die on this day. And so same with CKBO, and he's going to be reported dead on this day. 7th and 8th day, 12/31 and 1/1. Janus, January. See this? It's amazing. I have even more stuff on this I'm not going to get to right now. And then here's a scene from My Pet Goat that's massive for New Year's. And I've thought I've shown this as possibly New Year's for a long time. And it could have been Chinese New Year or whatever, or Independence Day. Oh, by the way, Independence Day is also December 31st. How? Because Independence Day you have fireworks, and on Independence Day you have fireworks. American Independence Day you have fireworks, and then New Year's you have fireworks. Okay, how are they related numerically? Well, think about this. July 4th is 7/4. July is 7. Take 7 upside down and backwards, like we saw the L's on the floor in iPad Goat. 7 upside down and backwards is L. Then you have L4. You had 7/4. Now you have L4. L is 12, and 4 is broken up into 3 and 1. So then we have 12/31. See how that works? I could have showed this on here, but hopefully that makes sense. So see how they play off each other for symbolism, but ultimately that is a decoy. July 4th is a decoy. It's almost on the other side of the year as well, completely. And you know how people have said Christmas in July and all this kind of stuff, because they relate to each other, and it's ultimately going to be happening around Christmas time to New Year's and slightly beyond. And that's where the destruction is going to happen. And he's sitting in the belly of the beast. He is Barron Samedi, another symbolic thing for new numbers and everything else. He's Barron Samedi, the Haitian god of death and the underworld. Okay? Barron Samedi, the Haitian god of the underworld. See, that's him right here with the top hat and all this stuff. You see, he has this. Now watch. And then Haitian Independence Day is, and again, our Independence Day, July 4th in America, but Haitian Independence Day is January 1st. For New Year's here, right? See how this is? And then remember this is January 1st, 1804. 18 O is 15, or 1 plus 5 is 6. This could, by the way, this number down here, these can be reduced down to 6. So 8 plus 8 plus 8 is 24. 2 plus 4 is 6. Reduced down to 6. 1 plus 4 plus 8 is 13. 1 plus 3 is 4. We reduce down to that. Now look at this. Not only do we have January 1st, and it's not only is this referring to 12, 24, and 25 like I showed earlier, it's also referring to, check this out, 184, 184, and then O is 6. There's 6. See that? It's all in here. This is showing us, hopefully that makes sense. And then Barron Samedi, so that was Trump. That was Donald J. Trump. But watch. Barron Samedi, to reinforce the January 1st thing, it's not only that, it's January 1st of 19 plus 6 is 25. January 1st of 2025. Look at that. January 1st, 19 plus 6 is 25. And that's all a massive coincidence? I don't think so. And then this is also a skeleton. And skeleton itself that people basically worship on Halloween. And by the way, Halloween is 10/31, or secretly Decem. Decem is December is Decem, which is 10/31. And that skeletons are pretty much worship on Halloween. Get it? Decem 31 is 12/31, or October is 10/31. And then skeleton is 1/1. 1 plus 1 is 2, 5. 1/1/25, as in 2025, and that's a coincidence also. These both almost exactly the same. 2, 5. 1 plus 1 is 2, 5, and 19 plus 6 is 25. 101, 1, 1. And he's blowing a party favor right here. See, party favor? He's going to blow it out here. If you would have followed the video, he blows it out to the girl and then grabs her shoulder and all that stuff. So party favor is, watch. Again, these reduce down to, this is 1. 2 plus 8 is 10. Get rid of 0. A 1, 1. Again, 1, 1. January 1st. 24 plus 1, 25. Or 2 plus 5 is 7. It's all there. I'm telling you, that's what it is. 1, 1, and then 24 plus 1 is 25. This is all a coincidence? I think not. Okay, so we have 1, 1, 25 represented, right? Now, I'm going to represent 12/31/24. And it just happens to be in both of these names. Okay, and so, that's not what they're showing secretly. Well, I'm going to show you. Watch this. So Gregorian is G is 7, R is 18, E is 5, G is 7, O is 15, all the way across here. J is 10, U is 21, and Julian. L is 12, 9 is, or I is 9, A is 1. Got it. Okay, hope you got that. Now watch this. Now what you do, especially when you have a lot of numbers, you go across and you go through, get rid of some nines, because there's just too many nines. Because anything you add 9 to stays the same. Like I normally would put in the front, it just got to be too much. If you have 9, 1, and then 1, then you take, and that ends up being 9 plus 1 plus 1 is 11, and that's, you have 11 left. And so 9, 9, 1, and then 1, you add 9 to it, it's 11, it ends up being 11. Because it's 11. Or if you take 11 and add 9 to it, it ends up being 11. Hopefully that makes sense. Anything you add 9 to ultimately stays the same when you put the numbers together, or you reduce them, or you compress them or decompress them. So get rid of these 9s here first. Now watch. 7 plus 5 is 12. Then 7 plus 15 plus 9 is 31. 1 plus 1 is 2. And then bring down this 4. 4. Oh, it just happens to be 12, 31, 24. Well, does this happen to be something? Watch this. You see this 12 right here? We're going to put it right there. 12. Oh, we're going to get rid of the 0 first. Because we could use a 0, make it a 15, or make it a 6. But in this situation, sometimes you just get rid of the zeros. You can get rid of zeros, 9, sometimes a 1, that kind of thing for rule of Kalau. We're going to get rid of this 0. Now we're going to take this 12 and put it up there. And then we're going to take 1 plus 21 plus 9 is 31. And then we're going to take 1 plus 1 is 2, and then 4. And those just happen to be secretly 12, 31, 24. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. And even calendar. So there, the Gregorian and Julian, and even the word calendar is 31st of December, because CA in calendar is 3 and 1, and then the next letter L is 12, and the rest is 24. CA in calendar, CA is 3, 1, and then L in calendar, CAL, L is 12. That's 31, 12, and then Ender is basically 24, 2024. It's crazy. So all three of them are 2024. And then when you add these two together, I'll show you the next video what it is. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Hopefully this just helps you a little bit to see that this timeline is incredible, really. And we're going to, we'll see. I'm pretty confident though, because this thing ticks all the boxes I've been looking for the whole time doing this. And I've been on December and this time frame for a while, but I didn't understand exactly how this thing worked out. I didn't understand a lot of things, and now I do. I have over the years, and now this just fits it perfectly. So I want to thank you, those Janice. See another depiction of him like that. Okay, I want to thank those who have supported me in the past, positive comments, prayers, everything else. Thank you so much. The ones who've given to me, monetarily and stuff. Thank you. This is, I bow down to you in thanks. I do. I really do. I thank you so much. And I want to give a special shout out to George, and I'll just say Gabe. Thank you so much. You saved our cookies. I mean, to get to, now we've just covered our rent. I mean, literally, man, they covered our rent at the very last moment, totally moved by the Lord, didn't know when it was going to be exactly, or maybe they did a little bit or something, because I've said I pay my rent by the 14th. And then it was just covered. I mean, just within, oh man, it was just like hours almost. God is so amazing, but I kind of get tired of it after a while, but even though it's amazing, but it's like, you're on the edge, you're like, is this going to get, are we going to get are we going to either say it to our landlord or we can't go? But he ends up covering, and he has for years. I mean, somehow, even when I worked, there's times when I was on the edge. Anybody who knows that faith walk at all, what I'm talking about. So this is where I asked for some help again, because unfortunately, with just covering that, it was just covering that. I'm literally within probably like $50-$60 or whatever. And then, now I have a few bucks in our account right now, to this point right now, and I had to shorten this video to get it out. So I can unfortunately ask for some help, because my family really needs it. We need money for food. So I need a few $100 for food, and then it'd be nice, even though I think this timeline might start on the Christmas, and we could have a crazy holiday season, and that's been in predictive programming in movies like Home Alone. You got the guys going after the kid, and he's home alone. The kid's going to be taken, and then you got bad guys coming after him. And I mean, this it goes and goes and goes. All this stuff is going to happen. I don't have anything for my children as far as, I mean, even though we don't fully celebrate Christmas because it's a pagan holiday and all that stuff. We like to have some family over and things like that, and then have some gifts for our kids and things. And I don't have that. And but I believe the Lord will provide somehow, and always do. And even though you don't see it sometimes, it's annoying. And it can be frustrating at times, and you could be a lot tighter. And I've been last 6 months far more tighter than I've been in the last few years. Even though before that, I've been homeless and things like that with my family and all that. It's just crazy stuff, crazy, amazing stories, crazy and amazing at the same time. So anyway, I want to ask anybody if you're able to, for food and for also maybe get my kids a gift or two or whatever, modest gifts, because I would like to get them something. You understand that. Hopefully, I'm sure if you do, if you're a parent, or even if you're not a parent, you probably understand because you've been a kid, getting something for Christmas. So, if you're able to help, God bless you 1,000 times over in this life and the next. We really appreciate it. And the link is in the description box below for PayPal. I even have, PO Box and ZellePay. Be able to, you can go to zellpay.com and sign up for free. It doesn't cost anything to transfer money or anything through bank to bank. So if you're able to do any of those, we really need it. I mean, I'm literally scraping. I got a few bucks in my account right now. So, either we don't, we're gonna have to eat at some point, and God's gonna provide somehow. If it's through you, great. If it's through somebody else, or if it's through whatever. But I'm asking you if you're able to, or you feel moved at all. Thank you so much. God bless you, and hopefully this blessed you. Hopefully you can see that this is a massive potential, a possibility, that this is coming, and this makes a lot of sense, because it does to me. It makes the most sense of anything I've ever done in my entire time doing this. And even in 9.5 years of getting dreams and visions, it matches like it's never matched before, and I've got more to share. We have to live. So I had to cut this down to this. We have to live, and I have to ask for help. So thank you so much. God bless. And this is Exalted Lamb 1, over and out.